The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case on documents that the FBI illegally seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. The FBI wants to be able to see the items from the raid that they could never get a warrant to seize, but they want to see them anyway. Let's get into this. Hello and welcome to RPW Media. My name is Rich. Let's get into this. So, the FBI is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to allow them to seize back Trump's passports that they already had to return to him because they knew it was illegal when they snatched him on their Mar-a-Lago raid. They also want his medical records, and they want privileged documents that are attorney-client privilege. I mean, this is almost never heard of before, but you never know because orange man bad, right? That's how they justify everything. Now, if the court agrees with Trump, then the special master will review all of the documents and decide what the FBI can and can't review. Now, it's ridiculous on the face of it because we all know that the FBI has already looked at and probably taken pictures of every single thing that they illegally seized in the first place. I mean, does anyone think that this corrupt FBI said, oh, we're going to put these aside and we're going to have them in a lockbox until the court decides? But no, they didn't do any of that. They read it all. They're doing all this right now because they want to keep it in the news cycle. Orange man bad. Remember, midterms coming up. MAGA Republicans, you know, that whole thing. So in order for the case to be heard, the rule is at the high court that at least 4 justices would have to vote in favor of the hearing. That's how it works. And that means that Trump has a pretty good chance of winning the case. Now, you're going to hear a lot of leftists on CNN and MSNBC and elsewhere. They're going to be screaming, that's because Trump put 3 justices on the court. Rah! But does anyone here think that if the shoe were on the other foot, the Democrats would be crying the same blues? I don't think so. One of the most interesting things, I think, to watch would be to see how the leftist judges vote. Now, I don't call them liberals because they vote for every leftist, radical, progressive, woke thing that comes down the pike. They don't even consider the U.S. Constitution in many cases. I mean, just read their opinions. They would love to nail Trump, even with the legally seized documents by a corrupt FBI. But then on the other hand, they don't want to make it possible to seize documents from the Democrats in the future, like after 2024. It's a real slippery slope that the Democrats find themselves in on the court. A no vote would vote against the Constitution, but that's never stopped the leftists in the past. Now, Elena Kagan, she chimes in and says, the majority's decision is emblematic of too much of this court's shadow document decision-making, which every day becomes more unreasoned, inconsistent, and impossible to defend. Well, let me remind everyone who Justice Elena Kagan really is. She should have recused herself when Obamacare came before the Supreme Court. Now, I know a lot of Americans don't know this because our misinformation, fake news media has failed them yet again. But do you know what Kagan did before she was nominated to the court? She was never a judge, so do you know what she did? She was actually the Solicitor General of the United States. So Kagan, as Solicitor General, she wrote the defense argument and the court strategy for the federal government if Obamacare was ever taken to court. That gave her an incredible conflict of interest. But she didn't give a damn. She didn't recuse herself. She remained on the court and she heard the case. And she voted exactly like we all knew she would vote. So that's what kind of person Elena Kagan is. And that's why it's been speculated by almost everyone that Obama nominated her just for the sole purpose of her vote if his signature legislation, Obamacare, was ever challenged in court. Now, the more I hear from Justice Samuel Alito, the more I love this guy. I just love this guy. So Alito countered Kagan's snarkiness of the court by saying, quote, the catchy and sinister term shadow document has been used to portray the court as having been captured by a dangerous cabal that resorts to sneaky and improper methods to get its ways. This portrayal feeds unprecedented efforts to intimidate the court or damage it as an independent institution. Now, I can hear the leftists at CNN and MSNBC going, here, I love what she just said, but they don't even know what Kagan said. And believe me, what Alito just said went way over their heads, too. And he's right. So there you go. Now, these 2 arguments, that gives us a pretty good insight into how this is going to go. I love it that some of the conservatives on the high court aren't being intimidated by the left, and that they're not wannabes to be loved by the misinformation fake news media. Now, with the Biden administration, particularly Meritless Garland's DOJ and Chris Wray's corrupted FBI, what they've done is appalling to watch. And everything they are doing has Joe Biden's political motives all over it. It's to trash Trump for 2024 and to trash the MAGA Republicans who are running in the 2022 midterms. I just can't wait until we get all of these Democrat creeps out of office and go back to being America again. And I mean, I can't wait to see after 2024 that Trump makes America great again, because we know he can, because he made it look so easy the first time. Now, I'll put the link to this story in the description so you can read the whole thing, and I hope you do. So that's it. Thanks a lot. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for spending this time with us. You can read all of our stories at rpwmedia.com, where you can send us news tips on stories that you think we should be writing about. You can also join our newsletter, where you'll get the latest commentary and opinion by our writers. Take care.